What's going on, people? This is again your man, Brian Hanley, otherwise known as Big B. Today is National Signing Day. And what used to be a big deal is no longer a big deal, man. And I'm just wondering why. Well, actually, I don't think we have to wonder why. I think we all know why. Transfer portal, NIL has all changed the landscape of college football, college athletics in a whole. But National Signing Day, which used to be a huge deal and still is for the most part, for a lot of us, myself included, it's not that big of a deal anymore. Look, the transfer portal and where guys are going have overtaken National Signing Day. It's it's moved National Signing Day down a peg as far as what we look forward to in college sports. You know, we used to gather around the computer and text our buddies, "Hey man, did we get everybody that was signed? Who flipped?" And while we still do that to an extent, now it's more, well, here's the transfer portal. Who can we get? Who's jumping in? Who are we losing? Is that good? Is it bad? I don't know. I think it adds more excitement, the transfer portal does. And making coaches have to work a little bit more, knowing that they got to put their teams together on a day-to-day or a year-to-year basis. Now, do I feel sorry for coaches? No. That's what they get paid for. You know, it might not be what they signed on for initially, but this is what they get paid for. You got to build a team every year. Things change. College football is no different. And either you change with it or you get out. And there's some that have got out. There's some that are going to get out soon. But the ones that are in it, this is what they're in it for, man. They love the interaction. They love the day-to-day type of stuff of putting a roster together every year. And for me as a fan, I like that. And I think there's a lot of fans out there that like that. I know there's some that don't, and they think it's ruining college sports. It's not ruining college sports. Either way, National Signing Day just isn't what it used to be. Like I said, things are just changing. Now, here's one of the things that's changing with it that nobody talks about. They moved this National Signing Day up to December, and it's schools are now putting pressure on kids to get to their school early. Now, that's a good conversation on whether it's a good or a bad thing. Say you're a multi-sport athlete in high school, but you go to play football. Do you give up playing basketball or baseball or track your last year of high school to get to your school early? Because that's what they're asking for. 5 years ago, they started doing it a little bit. 10 years ago, it was an anomaly. Absolute anomaly. Nobody was doing that. 1 out of 1,000 kids were actually even considering doing that. Well, now it's different. And now it seems like every time you look up, if you sign 20 guys, and we'll just use 20 as an arbitrary number, 8 of those guys are getting to your campus early, minimum of 8. So I don't know. Is that good or bad for athletes? Me, myself, and a lot of the guys that I went to school with, there was no way that I was giving up my last semester of high school and what I was doing in high school to get to college early. But times, like I mentioned before, have changed. Maybe going to prom isn't that big of a deal. Maybe walking at that graduation isn't that big of a deal versus getting your college football started. And there definitely are benefits. You get a playbook. You learn the guys that you're playing with. You get the homesickness out that we all know is going to hit. You get rid of that in a semester where you're not actually playing in games. All those things are beneficial to you getting on the football field in the fall, which are what these schools want, to get these kids out there immediately. Because, again, if you don't play immediately, a lot of these kids are, I didn't get to play. I'm not happy. I'm hitting the transfer portal. It's a never-ending cycle, people. It's just a never-ending cycle. National Signing Day, while not as excited as maybe dealing with transfer portal because of the transfer portal, still a big day. Congratulations to all those kids out there that are signing with colleges. We'll be back soon. Remember, like, follow, subscribe. Big B Sports Talk.